Hello, as part of a plan of correction for a recent MMQ audit, this is a very brief educational webinar specific to the completion of the monthly licensed nursing summaries in Massachusetts. There will be an additional training webinar on how to complete these summaries in their entirety within the next week or so. For the purpose of this training, we wanted to make sure that licensed staff understood the significance of completing these summaries timely and in accordance with the Mass Health regulation. The snapshot that you are seeing here is a direct collection of what was published by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Nursing Facility Manual with the most recent update of 5/26/2009. It outlines the fact that in order for us to submit an MMQ that justifies the case mix score and category, the member's condition and care requirements must be documented for at least 15 days of the month during which the MMQ takes place. And that's the same concept you use when completing a summary. If the individual has been a Medicaid member in the facility for less than a month, then the score is based on 50% of their Mass Health eligible days being in the facility or being eligible for Medicaid. These licensed nursing summaries have to be completed every month and no later than 5 days of the next month, summarizing all of the care provided to each member. All of our documentation must be complete, accurate, dated, and signed by the person performing the care. And this is done through PCC already. When we sign in, we have our credentials, we have signatures, we have initials, dates, and times that automatically happen every time you're in the computer. So that's already taken care of. And a lot of this guidance was when we were in a paper system. Only the original writer who makes the original entry in any part of the medical record is able to change that entry. Late entries, corrections, and addendums must be made within 15 days of the original entry or before we submit MMQs, whichever is sooner. So if you're working on a summary on the 18th of the month, depending on how many days are in that month, you will need to complete any addendum no later than the 1st or 2nd of the following month. So it's very important to understand when you started the summary and what your cutoff point is to make any addendums. The nursing summaries are scheduled in point-click care currently on admission and readmission as a placeholder for a true date, which will get established by the MMQ nurse within the first few days of the stay. So when someone comes in, it automatically triggers. A nurse is not expected to complete that summary on day of admission or the next day. Rather, the MMQ nurse will adjust that due date somewhere within the time frame of the range we've set for monthly summaries, which is always going to be the 18th through the 28th of each month. It is imperative that nurses save, sign, lock, and exit their summary at the point they complete each of those. This locks the summary, marks it as complete, and also triggers the next summary in the series. This is only to be unlocked by a director of nurses, an assistant director of nurses, or an MMQ nurse for corrections or addendums within the appropriate regulatory timeframes. Some people were hitting save and exit and then leaving that assessment open for other people to go in to edit, or perhaps we would forget to go in and then close it. And that's what was picked up on the audit, is they found assessments that were still in progress. Even though all the answers had been completed, it was showing as not being complete, or that it had been unlocked well after the 14-day time frame, and then we had to prove that there were no changes made to that summary, but that someone went in there inadvertently and unlocked it, which is why we're limiting the number of people that have that capability. So again, making sure that every time you're completing your summary, you're saving, signing, locking, and exiting that summary, and only having it opened up by the appropriate staff members within the appropriate regulatory time frame. Thank you and have a good day.